Hi, my name's Lisa. I'm a food addict and a 100-pounder, and really grateful to be here today. This is the first time I've ever done a speaker thing at OA, uh, and I'm nervous. So, so I have a posse here to cheer me on. So, I'm going to start with what it was like for me. I grew up pretty poor. My father was an alcoholic, and he was a private in the Army. Couldn't get past that due to his alcoholism. And my mom left him when I was 5 years old. There were four of us, and we moved uh, to Pennsylvania. And um, I grew up that within the year of being not abstinent, that's for sure. I learned about waking up in the middle of the night and sneaking cookies. And I thought I was a genius. What a smart thing to do. Oh my God. And I loved it. And by third grade, I was in a line to get weighed with all the other kids and was hearing all the numbers the nurse read out. And my number was much higher than everybody else's. I was in the hundreds by third grade. And I continued on that route. I was in high school. I think my junior year, I was in tears. I was over 200 pounds. Never thought that I would ever see that number. And just really, really upset. And it continued that way. My first year in college, I lost a bunch of weight because I decided that I had to. And so I chose a really healthy route of eating toast and a hard-boiled egg for breakfast, eating salad with no protein in it for lunch, and that was my day. And after about a month, I went to the doctor to say, I'm getting dizzy a lot. I think I'm going to pass out. And the doctor looked at me and he said, there's nothing wrong with you. Never asked me what I was eating, what I was doing, because I was still overweight. So it couldn't be my diet, right? How could that be? And I gained back the weight I had lost in that brilliant manner and continued to lose weight every once in a while and gain weight. And that continued. I was over 300 pounds at one point. I was up for a position as a principal, and I ended up for a young women's leadership network school. It was a big fancy job. I had been asked to apply for it, and I thought a women's school, 6 to 12, what an interesting possibility. I was so excited by it. And the organization that ran it believed that I was too obese to be a good role model for women. And the superintendent ended up putting up a fight, went to interview after interview with the superintendent of superintendents, and they determined I was the right person for the job, even though this other organization had all this incredible money. And I got the position, and the money wins out in the end. I lost the position because of my obesity. I was in denial. I thought that once they see how hard I work and like my stats and how good I am, I'll just win these people over. I was blindsided when I was getting rumors that someone else was getting the job. And this is months before it even came to that point. Anyways, so I was a principal for a year and a half. It was an amazing experience. And I had lost weight during that time, and I gained weight during that time. And when I lost the principalship, I gained more weight. Why wouldn't I prove them right? Right? I don't deserve this. I'm not worthy of even being a principal in front of girls. And that led me to deciding on an early retirement and moving to Virginia and deciding that the best thing for me is to have my brother, who was an alcoholic and not in a treatment program, and his 8-year-old son move into a house with me. Brilliant. I'm going to help them. This will be my new mission. I'm going to help them. Yeah. Thank God for Al-Anon. It saved my life. Took me 2 years, a year and a half in Al-Anon before I was able to ask my brother to leave with his son. And it was the most painful thing I had ever done. He's 10 years younger than me. He was my baby brother growing up. And it was really painful. And at that point, I had a house with 4 bedrooms, 3.5 baths, 1.9 acre lot, and I asked him to move out. He ended up moving to another state, which made me feel worse. And he took his 2 dogs and his 2 cats with him. And my dog had passed away the year before. I had him for 17 years, and I was in this house by myself. And what did I do? I was on the couch, ordering food 3 times a day, sometimes 4. Every meal had to have a dessert with it. I got up to 345 pounds and was feeling really sorry for myself. Went to an Al-Anon meeting because I was still going to daily Al-Anon meetings at that time. I read step 1, which I had read many times. You know, they start with the steps just like all of our meetings. And step 1 told me, you know, we're powerless over alcohol and our lives had become unmanageable. And I went, wait a minute. I'm powerless over food and my life is fucking unmanageable. Jesus Christ. I think I have a disease. And I went on Google and I looked up, well, like, what disease do I have? Compulsive eating? No, that's not listed as a disease. And I'm like, binging. Let me look up binging. And at that point, only a few years before, binge eating had become a disorder, an official disorder. And I was like, wow. So I read it and I went, yes, this is what I have. And then I was like, wow, how often a day do binge eaters think about food? Because I'm thinking about food like every other minute in the day. And of course, there was no answer to that question. And I was like, oh, there's no answer because they never stop thinking about food. That must be. And so I leaned into it, went to a few OA meetings. I had been to an OA meeting before in New York City. They told me I was at the wrong meeting. I need to go to a newcomers meeting, blah, blah. So I used that as an excuse not to go back. And when I learned I had a disease, so much weight, figuratively and literally, came off my shoulders because I thought I was one of 5 kids. None of my siblings were overweight. My mother wasn't overweight. It was just me. And I was told it's because I'm lazy. I just don't exercise enough. Like, it had nothing to do with the fact that, you know, our meals consisted of government cheese. If you never had government cheese, it's really yummy. And the good part about government cheese is that it comes in a big block, right? And you can cut off part of it and no one will notice how much you cut off, right? So it's like an endless amount of no plastic wrappers to hide, nothing. Government cheese was the best thing, you know, and we grew up on healthy foods like fish sticks and vegetables from the freezer, and and of course potatoes. That was something we relied on. Hungry Jack instant potatoes. But yeah, it was the food of champions. And And it took me a long time to understand just how messed up that food was. Super processed food. And that's kind of where I was with my first, what I call my first awakening with OA, knowing I had a disease. And within 2 years, I ended up losing about 150 pounds. And I had food sponsors to start with, but they had these really ridiculous ideas that like they should tell me what I should be eating. And it didn't work out for me. And I had been trained to coach teachers, and you always start with where the teacher is, ask the teacher for advice, like where do they want to do? How do they want to do it? And they were just not that into what I was thinking. And that to me is hysterical now because I had a diseased mind. No, what I was thinking was that I shouldn't listen to anybody about what I eat. And so that led me to being my own food sponsor. And that led me to ending up with a few binges after a few years in the program, which then eventually led me to the biggest binge and my second hitting bottom, which was last January, February. It was partially due to me eating sugar-free gum with all the sugar alcohol in it and just getting hooked on the flavor, but it also had to do with me learning. When I was in my 50s, I learned that I had been sexually abused by my father's army buddies when I was a kid, 5 years old. Both my elder sisters were. And it shook me to my core because I didn't know. I knew something was always wrong with me. I knew there was a reason. I was always somewhat suicidal since, middle school. I thought it was just my weight. And it shook me to my core. And last January, I found out, to my astonishment, that my brothers were included in this in a way that I hadn't expected. And it just, I just didn't want to live anymore. I didn't want to live anymore because what's next? What is next in my life that I didn't even know to think about? And it really hit me hard. I became filled with suicidal thoughts again. And I isolated from the best people in my life, many of whom are here now. And I, at one point, went to my county to check myself into a mental institution because I could not stop eating. In 10 days, I had gained 30 pounds. That's how good I am at binging. And it went on from that. And I struggled every day thinking, okay, today's the day I'm going to get abstinent again. And it was not happening. And so I go into this thing and I'm like, I go to the doorman and I say, I'm here to go to room blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh no, you have the wrong room. And he sends me up a flight to another room. And I'm like, well, this is confusing to me. He totally decided I was not crazy enough for the room I was intending myself to go to. Another place where they said, why are you here? And I told them I'm having suicidal thoughts, and the woman's hand starts shaking, and I'm like, oh, something is crazy. Like I had to say to her, I'm not going to do anything now. I'm okay now. And they talked me through it. The guide sent me to the wrong place, but they talked me through enough. And I went home, and a few days later, I'd been thinking, I need a food sponsor. This proves I need a food sponsor. Who am I going to ask to be my food sponsor? And I knew of this one woman who my closest OA buddy had as her food sponsor and had reached her goal weight with. And I thought, not her. She won't let me eat bananas. That's crazy talk. I'm not going to go with her. And I'm thinking of someone else. And finally, I'm sitting on the couch. I just demolished Dunkin' Donuts, dozens donuts, and I'm thinking maybe I really should ask her. And the phone rang, and it was her. And I had recently heard the story again about, the guy who's on the first floor and the floodwaters are coming and the car comes by and they say, come on, get in, we'll take you to safety. No, my higher power has me. Water goes to the second floor, boat comes by. No, I'm okay. Trust me, my higher power has me. Gets to the roof, helicopter comes. No, my higher power has me. Dies, goes to heaven, says, God, what happened? And God said, I sent you a car, I sent you a boat, I sent you a helicopter. And when she called me, I went, oh, fuck, this is my helicopter. Made her my sponsor, had temper tantrums along the way. She didn't want me to eat bananas. All right, I won't eat bananas. She want 3 meals a day. What's wrong with the snack? No cream in your coffee, nothing in your coffee. You have to see if you like it black. Why? Can I put yogurt? Yogurt is happy. Who puts yogurt in their coffee, right? That is a diseased mind there. And I just was stamping my foot left and right over this thing she wants me to do, that thing she wants me to do, this thing she thinks I can't eat. What about the asking me my opinion? No, you're in the middle of your disease. And that's how I ended up with the sponsor I have now. I weigh and measure all of my food. She saved my life, literally, because I was so crazed by what she was insisting I had to do. In fact, it was afternoon. She's like, did you eat lunch? And I said, no. She's like, well, what do you have in your refrigerator? And I'm like, what do you mean? We're going to start now? And she's like, yes. And I was like, and she didn't like the protein I had. And I was like, look, I'm going to have to call you back. No, I didn't say that. I said, I have to hang up the phone now. And I hung up and I took a few breaths, went up and down the house. And then I said, let me look what's in the freezer. And I found something, called her back. And I ended up not spending the time in the wreckage of my past with what had happened, what I found out had happened in January, February. And I was in the now, stamping my feet and yelling about how crazy this woman is. And it got me out of the depression. It got me able to move forward in my life. And it was amazing to me. So, worst weight, I'll share now. Let me see. I meant to do that earlier, but so what? This is my before and after picture. This was in the house that I had, the 1.9 acre house. This was weeds. This is all weeds growing way up above my raised garden. And after I joined OA, the after picture is me going, I'm not growing vegetables anymore. I just don't get enough vegetables as it is. I'm going to go with flowers. I'm going to make it pretty and I'm going to just enjoy it. And, that is really what has happened in my head. And this is my other before picture, the one of the body, not of my mind. And, yeah, so that was me with the help of OA, the fellowship, my second awakening, my sponsor for sure. I've released 190 pounds. I'm now around 155 pounds. I don't know for sure, and that's okay. I am firmly in the mediums, and I am excited about my future. I used to live my future by thinking, what can if I'm making a decision, which decision will I regret the least? That's how I made decisions. Now I'm excited about my future. I just had my second knee replacement. I'm excited about getting to learn how to play pickleball. I'm excited this summer. I'm betting by the end of the summer, I'm going to be standing on a paddleboard instead of just kneeling on one. And, the food thoughts of before are not there. They're whispers every once in a while now. And when I reach out and call my friends, they go away. And when I reach out and call my higher power to sit with me, they go away. And it has changed my life. I am so serene. I laugh a whole lot more. I laugh at myself a whole lot more. I share the dirty secret that I had a disease all this time with my family, my doctors, my nieces, my nephews, with everyone. They understand. They get it. They don't completely get it, but they get enough of it to know and to see how much I've changed and how important it is to me. And that's been amazing for me. And it's really, I'm just a different person. And, I've given up the wreckage of the past and the wreckage of the future. And I'm trying to stay in the now. So thank you for letting me share. And I am open for any questions you have.